The economy since the turn of the year is one of probably optimism tinged with a little bit of uncertainty. The labour market has emerged from the lockdown restrictions and through the end of the furlough schemes in rude health, and the feared redundancies haven't come through, and we're seeing vacancies running at very strong levels. That's actually causing some difficulties in the economic outlook in terms of labour shortages and difficulties in recruiting, and that's one of the headwinds we see in 2022. Also in the mix in the economy would be inflation. We're increasingly asked about inflation and whether or not the inflation pressures are transitory or whether they will sustain and really start to hinder economic performance. Our view on balance is that the inflation is still transitory and that it's being driven by energy prices, transport issues and supply chain challenges. Obviously then we have the context of the Bank of England raising interest rates, and we have another context of the increase in national insurance contributions. Those are all headwinds in the mix for the future performance of the economy. But on balance, it still feels that there's an optimism about that we've come through the worst of the pandemic, and even the Omicron variant looks like it was a speed bump rather than a major wobble for the outlook. So on balance, we're seeing an optimistic view, and supporting that view would be the Grant Thornton International Business Review that has surveyed businesses across the world, but the Ireland sample is showing that optimism among businesses is at 85%. That's 85% of businesses saying they're confident about the 12 months ahead, and that in Ireland is tracking at about 10 percentage points higher than the global average. So we're much more buoyant, optimistic in our outlook for the year ahead, but very mindful of the constraints that are starting to emerge in labour market, in inflation, and with those interest rate increases coming.